Hi guys, just did a live, and I don't know if anyone commented at the time, but I could have put it up. Actually, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to talk about it. But this one's a very interesting one because the topic of conversation being about the voices that we have in our heads, or more importantly, the video suggests the voices in my head. So I would always say that I had maybe, I remember once saying it about 15 years ago to a girlfriend, something about voices in my head, and it freaked her out. Needless to say, we split up. But now I have a better understanding about what these voices are. And by the way, if you're having voices in your head and it's not your own voice, go and see someone about that, okay? But otherwise, it's completely normal. So sometimes people would almost, in almost like a kind of comical kind of way, think about having like an angel and a demon or something like that on your shoulders. Or you could put it down to, I mean, again, these are going to be labelled very, very differently. And the way I resonate and label with mine is different as well. But I think it's quite apparent that we've all got kind of like 4 or 5 different kind of personalities within us. We've got different masks that we put on, and different ways in which we act around other people. Way you act with your partner, the way you act around family, the way you act with your old school friends. Might even just be that of a professional and of a personal in nature, that kind of thing. In that kind of manner, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Of course it would. So what would I identify with the different voices? Personality wise, when we're having a lot of overwhelming thoughts, and we can have, pinball machine kind of going off in our heads, ding 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 ding. All this is neurons firing, basically neurons firing together from an over imaginative brain. It could be that the brain wave, the brain patterns, frequencies is not favorable for your environment, and that's why you're overthinking things. Could be that you're stressed, you're tired. Again, these are all reasons why you'd be in your primitive brain rather than your intellectual brain. When you're in your intellectual brain, you tend to make better decisions. Your thought process is a lot more clearer. When you're in that other place, that dark, that primitive place, everything is driven by fear. It's all programmed inherently to protect you, and that's why we've lasted so long. I suppose we've all been programmed to be problem solvers, to look for negatives in everything, so that we, protect ourselves. Essentially, it's a self-preservation thing. So, but it's not for the modern world that we live in today. It's not like we're cavemen anymore, and we've got to be worried about what's going to harm us all the time. These days we don't really have a lot of things to worry about, and the choices we make create the lifestyle and the environment that we live in, and then the choices we then take us to that next level. So wherever we are, it's because we chose to be there, essentially, and wherever we want to be in life will basically happen or not happen based on the choices and the action you take. So I very, very rarely will send to bed, and I imagine a doorway in my head, a corridor with all these, like a dorm, like a dormitory, like something that you'd see a long corridor in a hotel or something, and there's a few doors off it, and the different voices and personalities within myself, they're their bedrooms. So sometimes I have to tell them all, because I am the conscious mind. I am the programmer of all these different systems that are running, are the voices, the personality traits, the different masks within our own heads. I am in control, and you need to understand that you choose to be in control. You're the captain of your ship. You are the person that can, if you're aware of it and you're conscious of it, you can program and write the programs which are going to work automatically in your brain. Your subconscious brain is like an amazing supercomputer. So I will imagine myself walking up the stairs and saying, right, everyone to bed now, go to bed, boom. and I see the thoughts, I see them all run off like naughty little children. That's how I see the voices in my head, being kind of like a lot of my inner child. So they're like basically I'm Snow White with the Seven Dwarfs kind of thing, if you can imagine that. As you can tell, I'm quite creative in the way that I talk. I'm very visual, and I'm quite feeling. So when I'm relaying stuff back, I will go to them parts of my brain which are creative, and I'll use my imagination so that I can then tell myself how to do what it is I want to do, or what it is that needs to be followed. So in this instance, I imagine myself being kind of like the headmaster going in saying, everyone go to bed now, telling off the children, all the kids go to bed, and they shut their doors. And then it's calm in my head. And you listen out, and occasionally the door might open and someone might be peeking, or you see them come out and says, I said bed now, boom, and away they go. Really, really powerful. It's quite a really neat trick that one of my mental coaches did with me in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, when via a video call like this, and he got me to stand up and basically act out how I was feeling, and then kind of tell myself off. And it's really, really powerful when you do that kind of thing, but it's something you do need to have done with somebody that knows what they're doing. So I study coaching, hypnotherapy, NLP, had various different mentors and have different mentors now for different things in my life. And we'll talk about these different personality traits sometimes, and it's things which hold us back in life, in business, in personal. And then sometimes we trust our intuition as well. It gets a little bit fuzzy now, which I'm going to talk about, because I'm going to start talking about some of like how, in my opinion, how my spirituality comes through as well. Because when we can learn to think and listen more, it allows us to have clearer thoughts, and it allows us to observe those thoughts. So if you imagine yourself being like a tennis match and you're the umpire, sometimes you have to take yourself out of the game and put yourself up on a pedestal, and you can then observe the thoughts, what's happening. But sometimes it's just good, and it's very, very powerful to observe those thoughts and just see what the nature of them are. Because if they're not good, then you need to change them. You know, the conscious, the umpire, the self-coach, you, the captain of your ship in charge, need to then be thinking stuff that's positive to counteract that, because that's the only way to change it, other than using a therapist like a hypnotherapist, or using meditations and stuff and having these things changed and reprogrammed for you whilst in a relaxed trance-like state. The only other way is repetition. Repetition has to be forced. It has to be, it's called repetition for a reason, right? You have to do it on repeat and repeat. And then what you're doing is if you imagine, here we're going to do something creative for you. If you imagine that you've got a muddy road, and this road's got like an old donkey dragging like a wooden cart, wooden wheels, and every time it goes down this muddy track, and it's like the wheel's going to go through the mud, and it's going to make grooves, right? Then the sun bakes it. And this is like every time that donkey pulls the cart down the road and it creates these grooves. These are what happen when you have thoughts in your brain. And these are neurons that then cluster together because of repetition, wire together and create those tracks in the road. So when then the sun comes along and bakes it, every time then that cart, let's now imagine we've got new donkeys and new carts going down that road, but they're going to slip into those grooves, those tracks that have been made by the old donkey, the old thoughts, the old cart. So with these new thoughts and the new way of going down, we slip into those tracks sometimes, so we have to keep bringing them out. How do we do that? By forcing different habits, different thoughts. So after a period of time, a long period of time, you're then going to have these old tracks that are hardwired into your brain, the thoughts, the negative thoughts that have always been there, but you're going to start making these new tracks as well. So sometimes it's completely normal, you're going to slip into the old tracks, but then you're the observer of your thought, and you pick up and say, no, don't want that negative thought, speak positively, speak kindly to myself, worthy, deserving, I love myself, I am safe, all these things, right? All the things opposite to whatever it is that you're thinking that is an automatic negative thought, an ants. and you place it with PATs, positive automatic thoughts, create these new tracks. I hope that makes sense to you. Now there's a way to do it far quicker than that. So if you imagine that road, now you've got these hardwired tracks in from the original old donkey, you've got new tracks being laid, and these are thought processes in our brains. Our brains are quite pliable. We're more Play-Doh than porcelain, say. So we can tweak and play and change. We change over time. We evolve. We learn new things, and that should never. As long as we keep trying to strive towards that self-development and keep learning new things and changing what we're doing, we'll continue being pliable. It's only when we stop doing it then we become more rigid and tense, and no, I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I won't change. And we get bitter and old and twisted. We all know, mature people that are like that, right? We actually probably know some young people that are like that too. Fucking annoying people. But that's their way, and they ain't going to change. Well, they say they're not going to change, but the powerful thing is whether they think they can or whether they think they can't, they're completely right. Because where your thoughts go, energy flows. And if you're going to turn around to yourself and say, I ain't doing that, I can't do this, and that just be the observer of the language that's used. Can't, want, hope, try. It's all coming from a massive place of lack. It's not worthy. It's not worthy of positivity. It's not good things are going to come out of that. But the powerful thing is if they know what they don't want, and they're saying, well, I'm trying and I'd like to do this, and I want to give up smoking, or I'm cutting down this, and I'm drinking less, all these like excuses, if they're really motivated to do it, they'll use a different language, or they'll seek help, because it's not uncommon now for people to, it's very trendy to have personal trainers, and also a personal trainer. Well, essentially it's a mindset coach for the gym. So in life now, and again, this isn't anything new, coaching and mentorship's been around since the dawn of time. Look at advisors and government figures and monarchy and kings and queens would have had advisors, coaches, people with the skills. That's why you'd have someone head of war council, that they're good at that. And that's, how are we going to get our men to do this? Because they motivate people, and people who are head of secret service and head of intelligence. And life is one big pyramid, of people that have a plethora of resources and knowledge about the things that they specialize in. And it's when we come together, that's when we have a community, and that's when we thrive. And that's when we make commitments to one another to help each other, because one person can complement someone else's skills. Does that make sense? So the way in which we create these new, if you really want to kind of like wipe the mind clear as such, obviously that can't happen. But if we did go back to talking about this donkey track in the road, what happens if there's a big storm and a rainstorm comes and washes all that mud and that away, and now it's just back to being flat again, like a clear road, all the tracks and all the dirt and all the mud's gone, and now it's just a track again. Well, that's what happens as such when we go into trance-like states, when we do hypnosis, when you can have a coach that is skilled in, not just one area, because anybody can turn around, and anyone that's doing these 25 quid courses or get a free diploma in life coaching and then trying to come online saying that they're a coach and helping people, they're going to turn around and say very, very fundamental, easy things to you. What do you want? What do you need to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? And that's it. But what's the difference between that and, say, someone like myself, or the people that I work with are, one, they are professionals. Yes, they have they have actual qualifications. And many of them are niched into certain areas, either with the people or the style in which they work. So, yes, okay, I'm an accredited coaching master. That means that the coaches that trained me, the mentors that train and work with me still, they're at the top, at the very, very top of their skill set. And there's people that only work with other coaches and entrepreneurs and work with celebrities and with big corporations. That's why they're coaching masters, and they have masters in it. And they're not just any old person that can help someone or be an influencer or can get someone from A to B, because that's what coaching is, right? Be the vehicle in which to carry them from A to B, but in a more dynamic and impactful way. And of course, with the hypnotherapy stuff from myself, I love to use that also because of like the law of attraction and spirituality. So I tend to work with people that resonate with that stuff because that's the style in which I coach. So I'd be saying to people, if you're getting stressed out and you've got anxiety about this, the first thing I'll do is I'll flip into the hypnotherapy, the solution focus, to be okay, where does anxiety, depression, OCDs come from? What's happening in our brains? Let's have a look at that, learn what our brains are doing, and then more importantly, look at what we can do about it. And that's super, super powerful. A coach can't do that, won't do that, doesn't have the knowledge, doesn't have the experience and the skills around that particular part, what I just said. Whereas a coach will turn around and say, what do you want? And then they'll go down the why do you want it? What's the reason? Then this is really talking about coaching. Masters will start then using, because if you talk about coaching and therapy, that's like saying martial arts. And within martial arts, there's taekwondo, there's kung fu, there's jiu-jitsu, there's tai chi. So within that kind of mental health, helping, knowledge, industry, arena, should we say, that's like the umbrella. But under the umbrella are all these different modalities and frameworks which you can use. Luckily for me, and luckily for the people that I work with, you can get the benefit of having someone that's gone through those things themselves. One, you can also benefit because of me doing solution focused hypnotherapy for a couple of years and actually be able to deliver you hypno sessions or bespokely do audios for you. That's a powerful thing in itself. Also, being an accredited coaching master, that means that using under that umbrella, using NLP as one of the modalities as the vehicle to move you, using neuro-linguistic programming, as well as knowing about the law of attraction and knowing about use of language and the use of our senses, including the sixth sense, of course, because not everyone has the ability to tap into that. And that's, we're talking about the sixth sense being with energy, law of attraction, the faith of healing oneself. So that doesn't mean anything to everybody, but a small niche amount of people. Also, what else is it that I can offer you and help people? I spent 5 years with personal trainers in the gym. 2 years ago, whilst I first started working, studying to be a hypnotherapist, for the first 4 months, you're not allowed to work with people because you're learning and learning the language and learning about all these different things of why what you're doing works and why it's so powerful. I also was starting up a fitness and social club at the time, and that's super, super powerful because I had to do a personal trainer level 3. And I also had to do a personal basic level 3 in nutrition. So with the personal training element, fitness and wellness, with the nutrition, with the wellness and the hypnotherapy and being solution focused, and all coaching is essentially is solution focused questioning. It's taking a vehicle of looking at what the problems that you're currently focused on, taking those and turning them into challenges, obstacles, which can be overcome, looking at the language you're using around it as well, and changing that. So when these thoughts come into your head, you're knowing if there's a positive thought, a negative thought, a thought that is something that's going to control you, something that you then need to change, take action upon. So the voices in our heads are all part of that understanding. And of course, the awareness that comes around the understanding of that is all down to you. How far you want to dig deep into it, whether you want to dig into the inner child stuff, because everything is inherited to us, whether or not thoughts or feelings are actually yours or not, or whether they were gifted to you by someone else growing up, or whether or not they're actually someone else's beliefs that you believe. So, that's, when we're in work and stuff, a lot of the time we have to sing to other people's tune. We might not agree with everything that we have to do as such, but when you're in control and when you're thinking logically and from a place is in your intellectual mind, you make better decisions, and you make decisions based on a proper assessment and coming from the right place. So what would I label the voices in my head? Well, I could say light and dark. So I've got good and bad, or evil, positive, divine thoughts. I would very much openly talk about intuition now as well. That kind of driving down the road and something tells you to put your seatbelt on. You put your seatbelt on, get around the corner, and there's a roadblock or something there, or there could have been an accident, and you know, if you didn't have your seatbelt on, maybe you would have been hurt. And then you have of a higher something else, which some people are called guides, angels, or fairy godmother, that kind of thing. When someone's like, you must all resonate with this occasionally, to go, oh, someone's looking down on me, or someone's looking after me, because you would have had a thought of to turn that way, not go this way, or didn't go somewhere on a certain day, just had a bad vibe, and then something happened. Interesting topic of conversation. But again, they're all different personalities, they're all different voices that can show up in your head at any given time, and these little buggers can have a party of their own at times. They really can. And that's when I like to imagine that, you know, I want to shut them down, time to ring the bell, it's bedtime, go to bed, I'm in control, and then just let go of thinking. And all hypnosis, the most powerful thing with hypnosis, it does, it trains you to focus on one thing and let go of thought. And when you let go of thought, you start being able to tap into something, a consciousness, a higher state of consciousness. And you can observe that state of consciousness, observe it, see where it goes, see where the thoughts go, and then know what you've got to do, whether it be talk kindly to yourself, or do more things, change your physiology so it takes you towards, you know, like after this live, I'm going to jump in the swimming pool and that make me feel great, and I feel like a kid when I jump in there, and that's awesome. I know that if I was feeling down, there was things I need to do to raise myself up. Again, this is about awareness. If you're not aware and you're basically just sitting there going, oh, poor me, and the voices in your head are telling you that you're shy, that you're overweight, that you're this and you're that, and then you go and reach for a Twinkie bar or chocolate and that makes you feel better. All that's doing is replacing feel-good chemicals with other chemicals to make you feel good short term, but then you get the loathing and all the fear of, oh, I'm not going to get out of this. So your actions, it's like a belief cycle. It's totally a belief cycle. Your actions create the way you feel, and if you feel good, that reaffirms to take more action in that direction. So of course, that's super powerful. That's a belief cycle. So you'd like to think you do something good, you're then motivated to do more good stuff. It's then going to just spiral. Yes, okay, something curveballs you, energy, other people, external things for your environment. But as long as you're aware of the mapping inside and how we work and how our brains work, you can control that stuff, and you can really take back control, and you can use it in a way that's going to allow you to take what you want in your life and steer your actual direction into the area in which is going to be best serving to you. I'm going to jump off. I'm glad I got this one out of the bag, as it were, and I'm going to share it about. And sometimes it's just about being positively stated, right? And something I would like to actually declare to the world is, what do I want? Where am I and what do I want? Well, I'm staying in my friend's villa, I'm looking after the dogs, and I enjoy that very much, and it gives me a chance to be in an environment where I can thrive, be on my own, and also it's the sort of environment I want to create for myself. I want to basically work and help 5 to 10 new people every single week, either with their mindset, with their blockages, getting them back to their best self, or whether it's helping people start to do something online or take back control of their life so they can future-proof their income in the future. But that's my mission. That's what I want. That's where I am right now, living in Spain. I've got my office space. I'm staying in a nice villa. I want to help 5 to 10 people each and every week, new people. And so if anyone can help me be a catalyst of change to them or people in their lives, then it's good to share, isn't it? So, and where am I going to go with that? Well, I'm then going to get myself, maybe it might be a hire car for a bit, so I can actually explore and do more videos in lovely areas here in Spain. Actually get myself a nice apartment or something that I want quite near beachside. Nice treat for me, so I can feel good and thrive even more so and deliver even more energy out there into the universe and to people that need it, right? And inspire people through motivational content and education about what I'm learning and how people have helped me and how I can then pass it on to the next person that needs it. That's super powerful. And then where do I want to go after that? Well, I want to go to Asia. I want to travel to places around the world. I want to go to Belize. I want to learn about the Mayans. I want to discover what Atlantis is to me. I want to go to the Amazon. No, actually, I'm not going to say I want to. No, I am going to. I am going to do these things. I am going to help 5 to 10 people each week, either in their mindset and their lifestyle, or it will be helping them start working and looking into opportunities online. I can completely facilitate that in people as well. I'm going to get myself a nice apartment or something here beachside. I'm going to do more motivational educational posts. I'm going to speak in front of people. I'm going to get onto radio and lives. I'm going to spend time in South America. I want to go, no, not going to want to change my language. I'm going to go to Belize and see the Mayan temples. I'm going to learn about Atlantis. I'm going to connect with aliens and my higher purpose. I am going to go to train with monks and do Tai Chi and meditation workshops. I am going to do boot camps. No, what is it called? A retreat with shamans and connect on a completely different level. I'm going to travel throughout Indonesia and Vietnam. And these are the things. And all the while, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be continually helping people, improving myself. 80% of what I do is about me and improving myself and learning more stuff about self-development, about helping people. 20% is taking action towards helping other people, stuff that I need to do to actually then finance this lifestyle, purely by helping people through value-based content and giving. And occasionally I have to come out and say, okay, my intention is to do this, and what do I need to receive? I'm open to receive it, and I need your help as well, because I need you to allow me to help you to help yourself. That's what I need. And that's what's going to happen. Okay. So super powerful. And yeah, everything is possible. You've got to decide. You decide, the universe provides. You've got to take action and keep believing in yourself that you can do it. You are going to do it, and you can do it. So I hope you found it super powerful, and I will peace you out. And I'm going to jump in that swimming pool as soon as I get off this live. So take good care. Look after yourself and each other. And remember, you are super powerful. Everything starts with a thought, and you can create anything that you can think of, you can create. But you need to take actionable steps towards it as well. Super powerful. So if you know anyone that might need to hear these videos, tag them in it. Message me. Tell a friend. Change is completely possible, but nothing changes if nothing changes, guys. And it all starts with us. We need to decide. We need to take the steps. The journey of 1,000,000 miles starts with a single step. And it's super powerful. You are worthy and deserving. I've been Terry James, aka Brett. You've been you. You are awesome. Don't be anyone else because they're taken. Just be you. And everything's going to be okay. Take care, guys.